Everybody. Hey, Dr. Castro. Hey, Amy, Yaritza, Nayeli, Jessica, Natalie. Hey, everybody. We have Dr. Aday with us tonight, so let's see those emojis. And YC staff, whenever you're ready, jump on in.
Thank you so much, Torin. Good evening, everyone. I wanted to welcome you all for tonight's session. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And we have Dr. Aday today to, present us with some knowledge about taxes as well. And I just wanted to remind you all to please turn on your cameras and display your complete name because it will help us track your attendance accordingly. And if you're having any audio issues or camera issues, please message YC staff Will so she can take note of that on your attendance. And if you're an alumni or student leader, kindly put alumni or SL before your name in case we'll have breakout rooms. And enjoy the session. I'm giving it back to Torin.
And I will ping pong it over to Dr. Aday. Talk about taxes.
Great. Happy New Year for folks, because I haven't spoken to folks this year. So just want to say Happy New Year and welcome. And I'm excited to talk to you all again. You all are amazing. We're going to get through some of this interesting stuff that is important to our lives. Um, I just wanted to say that, today we're going to be talking about taxes, and this affects every adult that you know, and even you. And sooner than you think, it will be you dealing with taxes. So by the end of the day today, we hope that you understand why taxes exist, where your money goes, and how this connects to being informed. So today we're going to we're just going to go over where we came from last session so we can place today in context. So last session, we talked about investments and how money grows over time, why starting early matters, and how things like risk and inflation, fees, and taxes affect what you actually keep. So when you invest that money, what you actually keep is impacted by risk and inflation and taxes. And today we're going to zoom in on taxes themselves, not just as, a concept over there, but as something real that shows up on paychecks and in everyday life. Delilah says that she's having camera difficulties. I must announce, I apologize. I meant to announce at the beginning that you're looking at this lovely photo of me because my camera, I don't know, it traveled to the AI space today and it decided to stay there. It's not coming on. So something is definitely in the air, Tara. So I'm not able to come on camera, but if you do not have any camera difficulties, please turn on your camera. That's one of the requirements so that we can stay compliant. All right, so back to what I was saying is that today we're going to zoom in on taxes. And we're going to talk about them as something real that shows up on paychecks and in everyday life. And then next class, we're going to move into problem solving, which builds on this. So understanding taxes helps you to really, think through your questions, make better decisions, and solve your real world financial problems. Next slide, please. So we're going to go through what are taxes and why we pay them. And before we pull up that poll, I just want to say that by the end of the day, our hope is that you're able to explain what taxes are and why we pay them, identify the main types of taxes, understand the basics of filing taxes and reading a paycheck. And I just want you all to understand this is not about memorizing rules and regulations. It's about understanding actually how the system works so you're not confused or intimidated later when you have to pay these taxes. So we're going to put this poll up and we want you to respond to the poll. Right? And as you're looking at that, I'll just say that there are a few quotes we can mention here. I'll read a few out to you in the next 30 seconds, just so you can respond to that. Oh. All right. Oh, look at that. All of the above. Very good. Very good. I love it. Oh, okay. If you could decide where your money goes, you would fund healthcare is a shining star. Very interesting, folks. This is very interesting. And which part sounds hardest to you right now? Knowing what to report. Oh, this is a smart group of people. Love this. Love the way you all are thinking. And so when you start to talk to your tax preparer in the future, when you have to start reporting, it is important to know. I love, love, love the way you all are responding to this. Some sharp people here. Awesome. Okay, so we had 42 out of 45. We're almost there. Our participation. Where are our last two stragglers? Yes, these are the sharpest pandas. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, in the interest of time, we're going to proceed. And I'm going to quote these, I'm going to read out these quotes to you all. One is, I want you to listen for the one that stands out to you the most to spark your thought process as we go into this. One of the quotes is, taxes are the dues we pay for the privileges of membership in an organized society. And then the next one says, nothing is certain except death and taxes. And then I like to pay taxes. With them, I buy civilization. I'm going to read them one more time. Taxes are the dues we pay for the privileges of membership in an organized society. Nothing is certain except death and taxes. And then the third is, I like to pay taxes. With them, I buy civilization. Which one resonates with you most? Just drop a word in the chat. Drop 1 or 2 or 3 in the chat. Let's have a little engagement here. Okay. All right. Okay, lots of twos. Lots of twos, lots of twos, lots of twos. Okay. All right. Slides are very familiar with 1. Okay, so number 2 is nothing is certain except death and taxes. So you all are, I don't know, I feel like I should just come through this laptop and give you a bunch of hugs. These quotes remind us that taxes are not random, right? They're tied to how societies function. And in our society in the United States, taxes are a big part of our lives. Taxes pay for all of those things that we talked about, right? So let's go to our next slide, please. Okay. So what are taxes? And we have an online workbook question, sorry. Let's do that first. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to respond to the 3 things you use or benefit from every day that are paid for by taxes. We kind of tackled them in the poll. I'll give you a hint. Does anyone want to share any of the three things? You can come off mute or put it in the chat real quick. Okay, let's see. Library, school, roads, hospital, schools. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Like I said, we just looked at this too in our poll. So well done.
Oh, we
All
had
right,
some
moving.
hands. Don't put your hands down, folks. We had
Oh,
Dr. Castro, we had Alejandra, we had Anthony. We got a bunch of pandas.
hands up. How come I don't see that? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's hear voices.
Yeah, put your hands back up, folks, and then we'll go through the line. Um, there we go.
Participants. Okay, I see Anthony, Sakura, and Francisco, Alejandra. All right, let's go. Rapid fire. Let's go, Anthony. Hi.
Oh, hello. I was just gonna say schools, they're very important and then paid for by taxes.
Yes, 100%. Our public schools. Go ahead, Sakura.
Um, I think like healthcare and yeah, schools as well, paid by taxes.
Yes, yes, fantastic. Francisco.
One is also the roads and sidewalks that we used to walk to get to school.
Correct, correct. So I remember someone on my street when I was a teenager. I was shocked that he sued the city because his car drove into a pothole and did something to his tires. And then he sued the city and said, I pay taxes, so why weren't the roads fixed? So, yes, there's accountability too. Alejandra, yeah.
For me, I benefit a lot from public transportation as well as libraries as they are funded by taxes. And
Yes.
actually, one of the libraries near my house is getting remodeled with taxpayer money being used.
Excellent, excellent. I love it. And I love how you're connecting it to the things that you see every day and what you're already using. This is fantastic. All right, let's move on to our next slide, please. So we're going to talk about the main types of taxes. And I think someone said that the screen was blurry, so I'll try to read them out as we go through, just so that as you know, so you're following along. So what are the taxes and why do we pay them? We have different types of taxes, but I want to just sort of break it down real simple, right? Taxes are basically just money that we pay to the government, and everybody contributes a portion of what they earn or spend so that society can function, right? And so these taxes, as you all just articulated, pay for public services, schools, roads, streetlights, hospitals, firefighters, police, parks, all the public things that we use as citizens and the things we rely on every day. So everybody pays in different ways. So we'll talk about these main types of taxes. When you buy something, there's something called the sales tax. Who knows what the sales tax is in Los Angeles County? Does anybody know what the percentage is that anytime you buy something, you know how much you're paying? Francisco, I think you were talking, but you're on mute.
Is
Isn't
it
it like
not
10?
10%?
Say again?
10%?
About 10%. Yeah. I don't know the exact number. I know the last I heard it was like 9.75 or something. I almost fell out because when I lived in LA, it was about 7%, and it seems like it has gone up. So it's important to know that when you buy things, there is a sales tax, right? Then when you earn a paycheck and you make income, there is income tax, which is taken out of your paycheck. And then you have, when you buy a house, when you own a property, there is property tax. And some of those taxes go to pay for the school in that area and the roads in that area. And then you have payroll taxes, which pay for your Social Security and your Medicare for when you stop working. So you kind of pay over time into that. And then you have other taxes like gas tax and capital gains. When you sell your property, the profit on it, you pay a tax. And then we have taxes at different levels of government too. You have federal taxes, you have state taxes, You have your local taxes. And all these different government levels of government collect taxes for different responsibility. So at the end of the day, the message is that paying taxes is part of being a responsible citizen. It's just the way our communities work and thrive. Next slide, please. So we have a workbook question. We're going to open our workbooks and write down, you see the instructions for whoever's, it's blurry. You want to pick one type of tax and explain what it's used for and why you think it's important. So pick one type of tax we just talked about: sales tax, payroll tax, income tax, property tax, and explain what it's used for and why you think it's important. So we'll take a few minutes. All right. So we have, I want a couple of people to volunteer and come on the stage and tell us what you wrote down. We can talk about it. I see a hand. Heaven. Oh, I love that name. Tell us, Heaven.
Um, so what I put, the one I chose was sales tax,
Uh-huh.
and it's used for the amount the restaurant takes out of you plus the how much your food costs.
Mm.
I think it's important that restaurants end up doing this to at least get a little more profit than what they do within how much the food is because of inflation right now. Everything's pretty much really expensive. So I feel like that money helps them a little bit more in like seeing what food to buy.
Okay, Your Honor has made her case that restaurants should get more so that they can sustain and survive through these inflationary periods. Okay, very, very good. Thank you for sharing and coming off the mic. All right, Natalia, let's hear from you.
I think that one type of tax that's pretty important would probably be payroll tax. I think because like it can benefit a lot of people because you never know when you could be in the position. Because I know it pays for like Social Security and Medicare and all that kind of stuff, and I think that can benefit a lot of people because like especially like how things can like change so like suddenly and things can be unstable. Like this could help a lot of people, and you never know when you could be in that position where you need like the unemployment insurance or like Medicare or anything.
So you are a proponent of payroll tax, and for the very reasons that you've given. And this is exactly why these tax codes are set up, is to be able to provide what we call a safety net for people, so that, when you get older, or if you have a health issue, that you're not left to die and you actually have a place to go where you've been paying into. Thank you. Let's go to Alejandra.
So the one that I chose was property tax, which basically just correlates to like tax for occupied land for like homes, and it's taken based on the percentage of your home. So like if your house is like worth 1 million, it takes a certain percentage of that, and we have that so that funding could go back into like roads, cities, and public services.
Right. Exactly. I love it. You all are so on point with the aspirational answers that you gave, and also just the reality. And so, exactly, the property tax pays for the things in your community that you're going to need and use. And so, it's critical that we continue to pay. One thing that I'm definitely picking up here is that we have a whole bunch of good citizens. I haven't seen anybody say, let's not pay taxes. Why do we pay taxes? I'm hearing a lot of good citizenship here. All right, let's go to our next slide, please. All right, so here we want to talk about what we need to know about filing taxes. So let's talk about this, because this is really critical, right? And a lot of adults miss this. I just love that Youth Champions is providing this type of material to you all, and I hope you all are soaking it in, because it will really come in handy as you get older. So filing a tax return simply means that you're telling the government how much you made and how much you already paid, because in some of the circumstances, the tax is already taken out, especially with your income tax. There's some type of calculation based on information you provide to your employer. They will do the calculation and take out taxes from your check. So when you file your return, you're telling the government, okay, here's how much I made, and here's how much I have already paid. And there are two main outcomes. It's either you paid too much, and in that case, you get a refund, or you paid too little, and that means you owe money. So it's the good news is that it's easier than it sounds. There are especially today, oh my goodness, there's so many free tools that help you to answer all the questions and file accordingly. And many people are getting help from, especially if you're a new earner, if you're a new income, a new worker, you just entered the workforce. The IRS itself has some tax assistance centers that you can Google and find out the closest one to you when you get to that time, and you submit the paperwork, and they help you the first couple of times, and then you get the hang of it and get your own tax preparer. So the key habit that you need to build today, that you need to build now, is just to pay attention. Learn how to read a paycheck, understand what deductions mean when you get to that point, and ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And then now we have all of this information on the internet. You can do a quick Google search if you have a quick question, but always verify before you act on it. We'll go to our next slide, please. All right. So we have a workbook question. Oh, Alejandro says paying taxes in optimal living areas. Oh, I love it. I missed what's going on in the chat. Let me read this real quick. Talia calling out social protections. Okay. How do people commit tax fraud? Ooh. People commit tax fraud when they don't want to pay their taxes, and they lie about how much they made so they can pay lesser taxes. And inevitably, the government is going to catch you and put you in jail and seize your money. So please do not go down this route. No matter what anybody tells you on TikTok, pay your taxes. Okay? Do not follow that one. Paying taxes optimal for maintaining low cortisol. You all are too funny. All right, so we've got another workbook question. Why is it important to understand how your paycheck is calculated. So we got to refocus, folks. Let's focus. Why is it important to understand how your paycheck is calculated, and how can this knowledge help you plan your finances? I want you to think about this one really carefully, because a lot of adults trip over this. They really do, and get into trouble. So we're going to take a few minutes, and then we'll do this. And then I think we'll go into our next session. All right, let's take a few minutes here. Hey, that music, man, that music is just sending me to a very happy place. I love it. All right, so let's hear from people who have not spoken before. Want to hear from folks? Okay, Edith, come on, tell us.
So what I think it's important is to make sure, because I was reading the chat, to make sure you don't accidentally like pay too little in your taxes when you have to like turn them in. I'm sorry, I don't really know like the right words because I don't know that much about taxes.
Okay.
But and how you can make sure that like why it's important to know about it is so
Mhm.
that after you pay your taxes, you know like the exact amount income that you still have, so you're able to still pay like the necessities that you need.
Correct. So it boils down to proper budgeting, right? And knowing what's available and what's not. And you don't need to apologize for not having the right words. You're just learning this right now. It's totally fine. So thank you for being brave enough to speak up. Anybody else have a different perspective than what Edith shared? And let's see what's in the chat here. Your paycheck is so you know how much money you really earn after taxes, helps you plan. Say, okay, very good. And Torrance dropping some game about investments. And then someone's asking about, for real, I'm going to let the YC staff answer that question. I cannot answer how to actually help you all with your taxes for those of you who will be filing. So I'll let YC direct you on that one offline. Okay, we'll go to our next slide. Okay. We are going to, oh, we're not ready for next class. We're going to go into breakout room. And I'd like for us to take about 5 minutes to think about what we've just talked about and just kind of put it together in terms of taxes, paychecks, how it's impacting our community, and what surprised you, if anything, today. So this is not about understanding. This is not about judgment. It's all about understanding. So I just want you all to have a chance to talk to each other about taxes because it's such a topic. And then we'll come back here and talk about it. Taryn has put some great
Yeah, so for the alums and student leaders, if you need to push along the conversation in the breakout rooms, take a look at some of the food for thought I put in there. And then also when you come back, think of any questions because we got Dr. Aday who pays her taxes. Ask her any questions you might have about her experience.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So we'll break into groups and just be honest. And, you know, and again, don't apologize for not knowing any of this. Just say what you feel you know, and we'll come back and talk through it. And I will be popping into some of these rooms myself, see how things are going. All right. So everyone is back, and I had a chance to pop into some of the rooms, and it was really cool to hear the conversations. A lot of folks had not really talked about taxes or heard much about it prior to today. So again, I'm really excited that you all are being exposed to this information. So who wants to volunteer? Let me see, from room one. Anyone from room one want to tell us what you learned there? What surprised you? Anything we haven't mentioned already? Come on, folks. Let me start calling you. Come on. Okay, Louise. Let's hear you.
I think something interesting that someone in my group said was that they really never thought about taxes like that, and they never thought they'll do it before this. But after hearing the consequences and the benefits from it, they think it's a better idea to start doing it.
Very cool. Thank you for speaking up for the group. All right, let's give Luis a thumbs up. It's not easy to volunteer to speak up. Let's put something on the screen. Are we all awake? There we go. There we go. Y'all are amazing. Okay, anyone from room 3? Anyone from room 3 want to say something different that you haven't heard yet? Room 2? Okay, someone said they forgot the room numbers. Okay, then if you forgot your room, then just, he said low key, then just put your hand up if you want to just share something that you haven't heard all evening that came up in your group so we can hear. The rest of us can share. So does that mean there was a lot of repetition? All right, Anthony, tell us.
Right. So right now in class, we're learning about like how lobbying and stuff like that affects how much tax we pay. Because like there's like foreign influence putting people inside of like office, and once those people are in office, they like dictate how much we pay and where our taxes go to. So I was just wondering, like, why do those people like up in office get to decide where our taxes go to? And since they do that, why don't they decide to help out people?
That's a very good question. And I hope you have a future career in politics somewhere because we definitely need people who are concerned about the average person to be in politics. It is a complicated answer to that question. There are so many reasons why these things happen. But one of the things that I'll say is everything does not begin and end with our presidential elections, right? At the end of the day, we get to choose who will be making these very decisions that you're concerned about. Anthony. So it's very critical as you hit that voting age, right, that you pay attention when there is a local election. Read up on the person, read up on their background. What do they support? Who is giving them money? All of that information is public knowledge. And you can go online and figure out where they're getting donations from, because that will give you a sense for how they're going to lean when they get in that office. So it is critical that you just don't vote by emotion, but that you are informed and you make sure that whoever's representing you is really representing you. And you can go to the town halls and ask questions when things are not going the way you want. Make sure you're an involved citizen and go to the town hall meetings and ask them the very questions you're asking right now. But I love that you're thinking about this in this way already. All right. Looking at the time, I think we can take one more if there's one more person who wanted to share. Oh, Edith, what is that? Is that a cat? Oh, my goodness. That is a well-fed animal right there. Well-fed baby, I should say. All right. That is just gorgeous. Okay, so
Actually, sticking with Anthony's room, we had a great question that was tactical when it comes to taxes from Ashley. Ashley was curious about, because we were talking about allowances for dependents, because we got a lot of dependents in the room. And Ashley was curious about what other allowances, what kinds of allowances come up to allow for a little bit lightening of the tax burden for folks.
for dependents or just in general?
For the taxpayer, right? So on your W-4, what kind of allowances come up? Yep.
Right. Oh, well, a lot of that depends on what you're doing, right? So if you are just working a 9 to 5, the biggest thing is, the more people in your family who are dependent on you, the less that you have to pay, because the idea is that you're taking care of all of these people, and so you'll need to pay less taxes. However, if you own a business, and I'll talk about that because I do, when you own a business, there are things that you can deduct from your taxable income, which will reduce the amount of money that you get taxed on. So, for example, I have a home-based business, and I'm able to deduct the cost of all the utilities that I use to run my business. I subtract it from my house bill, and then I take that amount. So let's say my house bill is $100, and I am using 5% of that, right? So I'll take the $5 out of my earned income from my business. So if I earned $100,000 that year, I can subtract $5 and it will turn into $99,995, and so on. So, my car, I use my car to run around for my business. I can deduct certain amount. I can deduct the space in my house that I occupy for my office. I can deduct, when I go on business trips and I go to a conference, anything that I'm spending as an expense on my business, not anything, but a lot of things that I spend as an expense on my business, I can deduct it from my income. So that then makes my income lower and my taxes lower. So at the end of the day, folks, it is real. That's why this foundational information that you're getting today is so critical, just to open your mind. So by the time you get into this space, these questions you're asking right now are just amazing questions, because this is exactly how you should be thinking. So when you're talking to a tax preparer, you're not just like, oh, I don't know what taxes are, you just go do it. You should be able to ask your tax preparer questions. I own a business, so what are the deductions? I have kids, what are the allowances? You need to explain your story to your tax preparer and make sure they know their stuff, because there's thousands of pages in that tax code, and the smart people understand that. They get the people who understand that tax code to do their taxes and figure out all the way to bring your income down. Multiple jobs, exactly. There are different ways you're not evading your taxes, but you're just making sure that you're taking advantage of the laws that will allow you to reduce your taxable income so that you don't pay unnecessary taxes. Because if you don't understand the code and your tax preparer doesn't understand the code, you'll end up spending a lot of money. All right. gain an understanding of those two buckets and you'll be ahead. And right now, I'll tell y'all, you are all ahead right at this minute. You are ahead. I'll tell you right now, taking this class. So we'll go to the next slide, please. And I think we're going to be, the next class is problem solving, as I mentioned at the beginning. So next time you're going to be learning how structured problem solving strengthens your critical thinking and your decision making. There is a 6-step problem solving circle that uses the 5 whys to find the cause of the problem and to break your challenges into manageable parts. And finally, we'll want you to be really thinking through how to slow down, analyze and test your solutions, and then you'll start building habits of curious, confident, and creative thinking, which you already have. I just love interacting with you all. You already have these things. Now you're going to get a structured way of solving problems. Next slide, please. So I think this is where I hand the mic back to YC staff. Chris, is this correct? You're nodding your head?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aday. So instead of 90 seconds, since we still have enough time, I'm going to give everyone 2 minutes to finish their workbook and survey forms. So I'm going to play the music and start the timer. And after, Torin has some announcements for us. Thank you.
All right, welcome back, everybody. First, I want to see a whole bunch of emojis for Dr. Aday, getting her first session for 2026, getting us real world ready with taxes. We appreciate you. All right, let's get into these announcements and some points. So, reminder, workbook and survey form close this Friday at 5. Do not miss out on some easy points. Get those surveys done by Friday. Additionally, we've got field trip at night and others. So earn up to 4 points. Good news. We're extending the sign up for the February 14th, Valentine's Day. Get your mama a rose, get your sister a rose, get your friends a rose. Take care of each other on Valentine's Day. February 14th, Junior Achievement Finance Park Field Trip. Spots are filling up fast, so make sure to secure yours soon. At JA Finance Park, you'll take part in a hands-on simulation where you step into adult life, make real-world financial decisions, and manage a personalized budget using an iPad. You'll practice budgeting, spending, and financial planning and see how everyday money choices can shape your future. That's going to be February 14th again. The link will be in the chat, and the RSVP deadline will be February 6th. All right. And then moving along, Ignite Speaker Series post survey. If you attended the Ignite Speaker Series last Monday, please don't forget to complete the post survey. This is important so you won't miss out on more points. Deadline is February 6th at 5 p.m. That's Friday. Student Leader Forum. For those who are not student leaders from last semester, please know that the Student Leader Forum is still open. This is your chance to step up, shine, and make an impact. You can lead our breakout rooms, support your classmates, and keep the energy alive in workshops and events, and be a voice, share your story, and inspire others. You know, I always see in the surveys how you all love hearing from each other, and you learn and find insightful other students' experiences, so you can be somebody who pushes that forward. All right. And the deadline for that is February 12th at 5 p.m. And the link is in the chat. All right, we got the college match program. This quick form helps us track whether or not you're currently involved in a college match program, so please fill that out. We've also got the Mustang immersive experience coming up, and it's free. Let's get some emojis for free. A Mustang immersive experience now through Sunday, February 8th. You're invited to a free Mustang immersive experience, and you can bring up to 3 classmates or family members with you. You travel through time and culture on a multi-sensory Mustang adventure. Explore iconic Mustang movie moments and experience an exciting 4D thrill ride. Sounds amazing. And this is how to get your free ticket. Step 1, fill out the sign-up form. Link will be in the chat. Step 2, receive your voucher code. You'll get a unique voucher code in your email after signing up. Step 3, pick your date and time. Once you receive your code, go to the event website, choose the date and time you want to attend, and go to checkout and enter your code under voucher or gift and card. It could be a fun event with some good friends. An example, if you want 4 tickets, you will need to sign up 4 different times to get 4 voucher codes and complete 4 separate checkouts. All right. And then we've got the First Gen U Career Institute. Excuse me. This is for alumni only. Alumni, we're excited to share that registration for the First Gen U Career Institute Spring 2026 is now open. The program is designed to support first-generation college students like you in exploring careers and building professional skills. The important dates are going to be, the registration deadline is Tuesday, February 17th. Tuesday, February 17th. The registration link should be in the chat. The Career Institute begins Monday, February 23rd and ends Sunday, March 29th. Why this is important? We've talked about the importance of internships jetting you into your first job out of college. So this is a great head start. Additionally, there'll be info sessions on this Thursday, February 5th. That's this week at 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's get to Pacific time, 4 p.m. Pacific time. RSVP link will be in the chat box, and Friday, February 13th at 11 a.m. Pacific, RSVP will be in the chat. To be eligible for First Gen U, you must identify as a first-generation college student, live and attend college in the United States, and be pursuing an associate's or bachelor's degree. And that is your announcement for Tuesday, February 3rd. Thank you all for coming. Give yourself some emojis. Thank you all for participating as always, and I'll kick it over to YC staff.
Thank you so much, Torin, for helping us with the announcements. And everyone, if you haven't filled out or selected a date for the field trip, so please fill out now before it closes so you can still get a chance to secure your seat because it's a very important field trip. And I want to thank Dr. Aday for leading the session tonight. It was a fruitful session, and for Torin for helping us today as well. And I thank everyone for joining us. You all have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
We have one quick
Goodbye.
question. One quick question from Yaritza. What would be considered a college match program?
So, I believe a college match program is, one of the what we call this, we are trying to get like a consensus if you are currently joining like a college match in your current school right now. So we're just getting, a head count on how many students are currently joining that. So yeah.
Okay, so would it be safe to say just contact YC staff if you think you're in one? Would that be
That is correct.
okay?
They can just fill out the link that was sent on the chat so we can, or so that we would know if they are currently joining one.
Fantastic. And Alejandra, you had your hand up for a moment.
It was a similar question because I'm in a college match program, but like it's with I think like it's just like throughout the district, so like it has some schools that they help out, and I didn't know if I should fill out the form and say that I am in a college match. Yeah.
Yes, please. If it's a similar program, Alejandra, it would be best for you to fill out the form. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. If you have any other questions, guys, kindly stay on the meeting so we can address that for you. And thank you, everyone. Goodbye for now. Take care.
Bye, everyone.